It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
I realized something about how I parent today. I mean, I've known it, but I realized that we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. We will talk about a sad trifecta. I've got to give a shout out to a condiment today for my Kelly's What Are You Into? That's coming up on today's episode. Thanks for tuning in. We're just going to try to get through today's podcast. I want it to be enjoyable. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if I failed at that, because there's a high likelihood I do. But you can go to seanslife.com, comment there. You can go to Spotify, comment there. You can go to YouTube, comment there. So you've got options on where to comment and let me know if I drop the ball on this. We're going to try to keep it enjoyable through this. Here's what's going on. Just full disclosure. Couple things. One thing, this is a tangent. I don't know if other people deal with this. I am overall pretty happy, dude. Pretty much. I don't stress about a lot of things. I'm very thankful for that. I'm kind of go with the flow. I'm pretty easily, my wife would probably disagree with this, but I'm pretty easily entertained and I'm pretty easy to get along with. But there are things. I have my demons I wrestle with. And I'll tell you one of them, and it's happening right now. If I don't feel like, because I value my friendships so greatly, if I feel like something's wrong with one of them, it just wears me out. And I got two right now, two people that I feel like are irritated with me right now. And I'm like, it's everything I can do not to just over message and call and be like, yo, is everything all right? Because I've done that before and the person was like, what are you talking about? Because I just get way too into it. I used to talk to Kevin from the radio show about this. He and I kind of similar on this. He's not as much as me on this one, but we're very much into just like we're gonna confront it head on, and people will be like, "You're crazy, dude. Everything's good." So I've got to work through that right now. So I'm in that mindset. For those of you who understand, and the other thing is, and this is the serious thing, this is actually terrible. The transition between that one and this one is terrible. But this is a real thing happening in our house. It's not going to be tonight's episode because I don't have it in me. Our dog got diagnosed with a big, huge, cancerous mass in her body. And the end is here for our dog, Jovi. Again, this isn't going to be the episode for that. I don't want to get into that because it's not great. But it has been a very difficult couple of months with the dog, knowing that she's getting older and getting sick. But today, it's been a lot of just like she can't control her bowels, so there's bathroom in the house all the time, which is hard to deal with 3 kids. But overall, you feel bad for the dog, and so we have got a date on the calendar for the dog. That's not a great date, beginning of August. So we're kind of, we're working through that emotionally in the house. And today, this is the journal entry today. All right, parents, maybe you can relate. This gets into what kind of parent I am, how my parenting goes, and how I'm totally fine with my parenting being this way. And it's what I would do if it was just me and the 3 kids always, just me. This is how it would go. But tonight, we had a deal. It's so hot in Lexington. How hot is it? It's so hot it feels like you're gonna die when you're outside. It's crazy. It's wildly hot. And my daughter is going to be going to kindergarten next year. She's going into the school here in Lexington. I am a public school guy. I like public schools. My wife grew up going to a different school, and just through a lot of discussions and like research and stuff at schools, the decision was made in the house to send our daughter to this school that is not a public school. And I'm not the firmest believer in paying for your child's education when there's an option not to at this age. And I think there's some value in public school, but whatever. This isn't what that discussion's about, right? Because I think there's value in the school she's going to as well. But I will say this about the school she's going to. They are 0 for 2 in gatherings that I've gone to pre-school, like pre-going to school. I feel like they do a lot of summer things. They do have a lot of off-campus activities that I'm just like, what are we doing? We won't even get into the first one, but the latest We went to an event tonight outside in a parking lot. In a parking lot, 95 degrees. What? Like, all I could think was the money we pay for tuition. Someone, please tell me it's not going towards this, please. That would make me feel like the school needs to go to school. It was crazy hot. Huck got out and he was maybe 2 minutes into the bouncy castle world, and he came over and he was done. He was like, I am so hot. Everything on him is wet. He's just beet red. We find some shade where he can just stand there and just look at me like, can we go home? Woods isn't having it. I didn't realize it was going to be an outdoor activity. I didn't do my research very well. I just assumed it was going to be another indoor. We've been to 3 things. One of them, the reason I thought this was going to be indoors, the last one we went to was indoors at the school, and it was fine. I still don't know what it was, but we were there, and it was fine. It was like, I guess it was like, hi, your kid's in school. And we're like, oh, yep, okay. And they're like, okay, all right. And that was okay. So I assumed this one would be kind of like that inside. Maybe we were going to get like, hey, here's what's coming up for the school year. Here's what we got for you. Here's what your kids are going to be doing. Here is like what we do. Here's the schedules for the day. I kind of assumed that's what it was going to be. So I went in, just dumb me, went to the event thinking we're going inside in pants. And this shirt I'm wearing, which I should have changed by now because it just probably reeks. I stepped in that parking lot and I was a walking ball of sweat. Just my shirt all around, like where my chest goes down and bowls into my belly. Just a big old sweat stain right in the middle of it. I'm just pitting out like crazy. My forehead, I'm just drenched with sweat. I tried to make the most of it. Like it's for my kids, so it's not about me. So I try to make the most of it. I was like, if the kids are going to have fun, I can put up with the heat as long as the kids are having a big time. And Olivia did have an okay time, but even she got hot. And then Hucky lost it. And so it was like, well, if the kids aren't having fun, I'm out. Because I can put up with it, and I can mingle with people. I don't mind mingling with people. But I can do that as long as the kids are in a good spot. But they weren't in a good spot. So we're dealing with that. I come home. My wife had to leave. She's on a trip. So it's just the kids and me come home. I get home. There's poop all over the floor from Jovi. She's got up onto the couch. My wife has this white, it's like a white cover for our couch. Cream white cover. Jovi has smeared poop all over that. I'm playing defense. Woods is not loving life at this point because he's hot and tired. He's trying to move around. I'm trying to keep him out of the poop, but also clean up the poop and make sure Jovi's not going elsewhere, trying to get her outside. Olivia's lost it at this point. She's overly tired. The heat has taken it out of her. She's lost it. Miraculously, Huck has rallied, and he's in this great spot where he's loving life. I'm like, okay, this is great, buddy. You're killing it. And, now, so I get the poop cleaned up. I kind of get Woods situated. Right when I get him situated, he goes for a toy, leans on it, goes forward on it. It kind of tips. He goes forward, and part of the corner, hits him right in the chin. And just enough, not big, but just enough to like cut a little tiny cut that had a little blood on it. Well, it must have hurt. He lost it between being hot, being tired, and that little wound. Now Woods is done. Olivia's done. She's lost it. The heat has taken her out. It's too late for her. She's done. I got crying baby. I got crying older daughter. I've got dog in poop, trying to get the dog outside. Thank goodness for Huck. Huck's loving life. And I just looked around my house and thought, the kind of parent I am is very opposite from how my wife is. I would never leave our house. I would stay in our house and backyard area always until the kids were older. And I would never feel bad about it. Never. Maybe occasionally to a park, maybe. But like, we have a backyard that we can do stuff in. There's a play set there. We've got a great house with, the kids' rooms are fun. We've got a basement play area that's great. I would just, when it's me, like tomorrow, Friday, we're going to make forts. we're probably going to go outside and play in one of the little water features we have, whether it's the sprinkler or we got like little tiny water what is it? Splash pad that Elsa got us that you fill up and it gets a little, maybe 3 inches of water in it, and then it sprays up out of the sides. Just a little dish, but the kids go bonkers with it. A little water table and then some buckets. And we'll just turn the water on. We'll have a big water time. We'll build a fort in the basement. I might even set up the tent in the basement tomorrow so we can do camp out in the basement tomorrow night, right? We'll do something fun for dinner, something weird, and we'll call it, Dad's Mystery Magical what is the word I'm looking for? Modge Podge. Whatever it is, smorgasbord, Dad's magical, marvelous smorgasbord, and we'll just throw stuff together. It'll be a big deal. We'll make a big dinner out of it, eat it somewhere weird, and we'll just stay in the house, and we'll never leave it, and it's going to be contained and controlled. My wife is the opposite, and I'm thankful for this because my kids probably do need to get out of the house a little bit to do stuff, but my wife would be the opposite. She would never be in our house. She would 24/7 be on activity mode. At her mom and dad's house, I think she'd go there every day if she could. Mom and dad's house, maybe go out to dinner somewhere, maybe go to a park, there's a coffee place here in Lexington that has a big play area. She'd go there. She'd go to the parking lot at 95 degrees so the kids could maybe die of heat stroke on a bouncy castle. Like that, that's what my wife is. So it's a good yin and yang, I think. But I just know my side of the parenting is right here in the home. Playing Guess Who, which is the game of choice right now in the Widmer house. All right. That was going to be a quick 5-minute intro into the podcast. That's where the mood's at. But things are good. I'm very thankful my wife is the way she is because I am glad we have both options. Because a lot of times my wife can take the kids out. I can stay here and kind of regroup. And then when I'm here, my wife can go out and go to the gym, which she loves doing. She went shopping the other day and kind of get away from the kids. And they stay right here. It just works really, really nicely. So kudos. Thanks, babe. My wife doesn't listen to the podcast, so whatever. She's not one of the people who I think is mad at me, by the way, which is also great. She might be now that she's heard this, but she's not. So I'm appreciative of that. I did want to mention real quick. It was the Deaths Come in 3 thing hit this week. I talked about Theo Huxtable on Wednesday's podcast. Ozzy Osbourne passed away, which took me back to my days where I was for almost 2 years midday DJ on 105.7 The Buzzard. I can't do that anymore. The Buzzard, the hard rock station, or the class. I don't know what the station was. But it was crazy that I was the guy on the rock station in the middays. And I played a lot of Ozzy Osbourne, a lot of Black Sabbath. And I remember looking up a lot of information to read in between songs. Did you know Ozzy Osbourne once ate an entire dragon? Like it was, stuff like that before a concert. It was crazy. And then wore its skin on stage. Weird band, weird rock band stuff, And he was big. I actually didn't mind Ozzy Osbourne's music. I'm not a big old rock guy, but I enjoyed some of his stuff. And I would say he's got to be one of the biggest names in rock and roll. Like if you're looking at that genre, his name, maybe not, you might be a diehard rock guy yelling at me. He's not the best. His bands weren't the best. He's not the best. Fair. Totally fair. We're going to revisit that theory, the way people think about that in a few minutes. But you got to at least say he is a legend in that format. He's a legend in that genre. And he is going to go down forever as one of the maybe even grandfathers, like as we get further along of the genre, and a big key to the cog of rock and roll. So that was a crazy one. And then today, when I'm recording it on Thursday, Hulk Hogan passed away. Which, of course, I mean, there's a lot of scandal with Hulk Hogan later in life, but Hulk Hogan in the 80s and 90s is one of the most big brands in sports and entertainment. He's huge, worldwide, not US-wide, worldwide. Hulkamania was a big deal. That's crazy. So 3 big deaths. Because I'm morbid and I don't think right. My brain is broken. I immediately was like, is that the biggest 3? Because, deaths come in 3. Is that the biggest deaths come in three celebrity list ever? Which is, it's too soon for this, and you should never do this game, but that's where my brain went, because again, it's messed up. And it's up there. I do think there's a Michael Jackson one. Who is it? Michael Jackson. I think it's Michael Jackson, Ed McMahon, and Farrah Fawcett. That's a pretty big three. Let me see. Was that the one? Because immediately I text these to people. I have also been in a weird spot where I'm texting people and no one's texting back. And I'm realizing the things I think are either interesting texts or clever texts are not. Age. Okay, it was Michael Jackson, Farrah Fawcett, Ed McMahon. Another big one that's not in the same ballpark of Theo, Huxtable, Ozzy, and Hulk. Alan Thicke, George Michael, and Carrie Fisher. Those were all, that was a deaths come in three situation. Morbid. What are we doing? Out of the morbid. But Hulk Hogan, huge. I never got into WWF as a kid, besides wanting to have the little action figures that were always advertised on Saturday morning cartoons. I thought wrestling looked awesome. I always wanted to be into it. If you go back maybe 4 or 5 years on this podcast, there's an episode where I talk about that in general at length. I always wanted to get into wrestling, never did. Very jealous of everyone who is still into it or has been into it. I think it is a really cool form of entertainment, and I'm bummed out I wasn't part of it. But Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania, even I knew about that one. Let's get into it. Let's just get more into me with bad opinions.
Kelly's, what are you into?
All right, this one goes out to all my mamas, babies' mamas. How's that go? I don't remember. Shout out to the great music of Outkast. Okay, well, it was Barack Obama, and I didn't realize he had said this until later in the day. My buddy Morgan, I think my ex-buddy Morgan and Rob brought it up. Let's see here. Barack Obama, ketchup. That's what we're going to talk about today. Because I want to get the exact line for what he said on his wife, Michelle Obama's podcast. And I know where he was coming from, at least maybe. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I believe Barack is a Chicago guy, right? Hot dog place. And I know there's a big group of people who do not believe ketchup should go on hot dogs. So I'm assuming this is where a lot of this comes from. But this is the quote from Barack Obama. In my opinion, you should not eat ketchup after the age of 8. And then Barack said, nothing against kids having ketchup on their burgers, ketchup for their fries even, which is hard for me to watch. Ketchup, okay, here we go. Ketchup on their burgers, ketchup on their fries, and even, which is hard for me to watch, ketchup on hot dogs. But at a certain point, you got to kind of outgrow it, all right? And he said it. Michelle Obama said, we, in my opinion, have nothing against ketchup. Nobody in our family is following his lead. All right. So I didn't realize this was a post. Our buddy Morgan texted in a group thread I probably am kicked out of now. He had sent that message and said, in my opinion, the controversial. I said, oh man, this is a French fry killer for me. Because I love ketchup on my fries. And he said, Morgan said, he ain't wrong. The ketchup community has lost their minds. Okay, so then I started getting into this, and I'm like, wait a second. Is this maybe it's a thing in terms of where you live, right? Maybe this is geographic situation. But I don't know if it is. I think it might be globally here, at least nationally. I didn't realize this was a thing. So I like ketchup. I love dipping my French fries in ketchup. I love putting ketchup on a hamburger. I think if you make a backyard burger and you put lettuce, tomato, ketchup, mustard, mayo on that burger, again, backyard burger, that is summer. That to me is a barbecue. That is the burger of burgers for a barbecue. Maybe some cheese on there. Is it the best hamburger ever? No. So this is where I think the problem is. People started getting after ketchup. The guys in that chat started getting after ketchup. And I feel like we are in a situation I try to talk about a lot. I wear it out. People get into this mode of nothing can be liked with things better. If there's something better, then ketchup has to be the worst. But I don't think that's how it is. Ketchup is great on French fries and great on a burger, and ketchup is fine. Is ketchup the best condiment? No, it's not the best condiment. It might not even be, for French fries, it might not even be a top 5. It might not even be a top 10 thing to dip your French fries in. So there may be 10 things better to dip your French fries in. But just because that's the case, it doesn't mean ketchup's bad. It just means we've got a lot of great things for condiments, right? A lot of them. And I'll be right there with people who, if you go to a fancy burger place, I'm probably not going to get the backyard burger with ketchup, mustard, and mayo on it. I probably want some kind of spicy aioli sauce, right? Or some weird burger sauce. Maybe it has ketchup mixed into it, but some weird burger sauce that has some kick and a little bit of different flavor to it, a barbecue sauce. And I may want that more. But I don't think that needs to be a takeaway from ketchup still being a good condiment, a great condiment. Is it the best condiment? No. Is it a bad condiment? Absolutely not. So maybe it is a regional thing because the guys here seem to hate it, but you're not going to find me in that world. We're always going to have ketchup upstairs in the refrigerator, and it's going to go on the kids' chicken nuggets. I know that for a fact. It's going to go on my hamburgers, and if we have French fries and I'm having burgers, it probably means the ketchup's already out along with the mayo and the mustard. I'm going to put a little extra ketchup on the plate, and I'm going to dip my French fries in that. I might even get wild, put a little ketchup on the plate, put a little mayo on the plate, dip some, and then do like a double dip situation. Maybe one fry just has ketchup, one fry just has mayo, and one fry has both. But I didn't love this. I don't love the animosity towards ketchup because I get it that you think a condiment is better. That's okay. Ketchup can still be good. I really like Damian Lillard. Is he better than LeBron James? No. But that doesn't mean Damian Lillard's a bad basketball player. It just means he's not as good as LeBron James. He's not even good as a lot of guards in the league. That doesn't mean he's a bad player. Andre Iguodala had a great comment today. I think he was on Draymond Green's podcast. And it was just that thing. I saw it today. Maybe he was on there forever ago. But he was talking about, the quote he was mentioning was, he is closer to LeBron James. And Iggy is not as good as LeBron James in the NBA. He's closer to LeBron James than you are to him. And he was like, I was out in the backyard. Andre Iguodala said this. I was out in the backyard with my son, and I gave him buckets, and I worked him over. And he said his son was like, Dad, you never missed. And Andre Iguodala was like, buddy, I'm in the NBA. I'm in the NBA. I play with guys who are scorers. They don't need me to score. I do my role, right? These guys are walking buckets. But guys who maybe only score 6, 8 points, 5 points in a game, it's not because they can't score. It's because they've got guys in their team whose role is to score and can actually score it better, which is crazy to think about. All right. Thanks for listening. Again, this 15-minute podcast is meant to bring you a little bit of joy. I hope somewhere in there it did. Or maybe it made you think about something. I just hope we get out of this happy. And to the people out there who have got my blood pressure up because I think I've made you mad somehow, can we just move forward as friends? Thanks. All right. Gotta go.